What is the role of Parliament if the Supreme Court becomes the legislating authority, and if the Parliament has the last word about a law? Who will interpret the law and find if the law made is constitutional or not? So this question has now become extremely important and bare bone of contention between Parliament and the Supreme Court. Today, Nityanand Dubey, the minister and the parliamentarian from Bihar and BJP MP, made a remark which is a sign that the parliamentarians are slowly but steadily becoming fed up with the Supreme Court increasingly becoming assertive and more authoritarian, even though they have no accountability. Parliamentarians have at least accountability towards the people, but what about the Supreme Court? The judges are not only not accountable, but also have absolutely no transparency. They select themselves to the court. They select the judges among themselves without any kind of interference from anybody of any kind. They do not think twice about shamelessly protecting the black sheep. You may find it a little exaggerated, but I will give it context. Tamil Nadu is a state where the DMK and its governor are always at loggerheads. Whatever the reason, the government of Tamil Nadu sent the bill to the governor for his assent. Instead of returning it within some stipulated time, he oversat on the bill. After a lapse of a few months, the government approached the Supreme Court for justice. Supreme Court heard the petition and, of course, expressed its extreme dissatisfaction and didn't hide its annoyance either with the Tamil Nadu governor. What it could have done was to just give an advice in whatever language they may have used, but they not only exceeded the brief, but also laid down a deadline for the governor to assent, to give his assent. It rankled everyone because governor is extension of the president in the state. If you are telling the governor what to do and what not to do, you are actually telling the president. Second incident is about Justice Verma, which is already so much talked about, and he is talk of the nation for long. Ever since a huge stack of cash was found burning in his official house, which he denies, of course, but the videos and photos are now uploaded on the Supreme Court website. You can have a look at it. Everybody expected that Justice Verma should at least give himself to some shade of some semblance of accountability Far from it, he was not only transferred out from Delhi to Allahabad, but he also decided not to leave his Bangalore in Delhi. Now, Supreme Court did not even allow or did not even take any step for any police action. Far from police action, the least it could have done was to institute or to get registered an FIR against him, so that at least public uproar can be some accommodated. I mean, of course, everybody knows that the thing will happen even if FIR is registered. Everybody knows what police does, whether FIR or not without FIR. But that means that Supreme Court is basically a part of the problem, and it is not only, it is now brazen, it has lost all kind of shame. There is no sense of shame either. They are brazen. They are not interested even for a while. They don't have an iota of shame. They consider themselves far above from the law that they are following. What else can be the reason? So in this context, Jagdeep Dhankar, who himself is an authority on constitutional law and a very acclaimed lawyer and very astute parliamentarian with deep knowledge about parliamentarians, about legislature, and it is the constitution. He commands the respect also across the parties, including TMC. The politics will continue, but as far as his conduct is concerned, I think it is. It stands all kind of scrutiny, and it has. He has weathered all kind of troubles over the time. Not once has any kind of evidence been found against his conduct. It speaks volumes about the credibility he enjoys. So when he, at a seminar I think day before yesterday, he publicly gave vent to this anger against Supreme Court brazen act of ordering the president to give the assent within a stipulated frame of time. He publicly said that why have we allowed this situation to come to this far, that the Supreme Court had to tell the president and order the president. He almost tore into the Supreme Court. Now, he is the second highest constitutional authority in India, second only to the president. He must have a word, because he's not my friend, he's not your friend, he's not a common man, he's a citizen like you and me. But we can also speak a lot of things about you, but he meets with the people who include Prime Minister, who include the Home Minister, who include the Speaker, who include the President. And if he forms an opinion about an issue, we cannot say that this opinion is only his. Whatever he forms an opinion, it is formed by a kind of conversation that he holds with people like President, Prime Minister, Speaker, these highest luminaries. All right. And I am so sure that he must have a word, because he meets with the Justice of the Supreme Court as well. Therefore, his opinion about any subject extremely important because he reflects not only his, but also in part, at least if not more, the opinion of these people. And who can be more important than the Prime Minister or the President or the Speaker in this country? So when he says, and when he tears into the Supreme Court, that means, and especially when he cites an article about 140T, which Article 142, which is said that it has become a nuclear missile in the hands of Supreme Court, which it is abusing, arm twisting, and bombing the Parliament. Now, this statement was like a bomb. It exploded and caused havoc. It shook everyone because it was a very strong indictment, strongest indictment of the Supreme Court in last, I think, 4, 5, 6 years. And rightly so, because Supreme Court, there are some judges in the Supreme Court who are simply brazen. They consider themselves at par with God, if not more. What else can explain the conduct of Justice Verma? And what else can explain the conduct of the Supreme Court Chief Justice of India, Sanjeev Khanna, who was almost ready to strike down the Waqf law enacted by the Parliament while hearing this law? And you just imagine that Solicitor General Tushar Mehta not only put his foot down while this argument was going in the Supreme Court, he simply dared Chief Justice of India that I dare you to strike down this law. How dare you can do this? This is the law made by the Parliament. You have no power to strike it down unless you cite that this violates the basic structure. And the Chief Justice of India had to back down because what he was doing was overstepping. And that is one of the reasons why Dhankar rode and tore into the Supreme Court. This is very good example of Supreme Court being reduced and cut down to the size. Now today, Nityanand Dubey has echoed that sentiment and added more zest by saying that if the Supreme Court thinks that this is the only institution to legislate a law, then why is the Parliament there? I mean, if you are the judge and you yourself enact a law, then why is the Parliament there? Just close it down, shut the door, shut the Parliament, and make law yourself. This is what it said. And imagine, I don't remember having ever seen this kind of precedent ever before. And the responsibility for this nonsense lies squarely on Supreme Court. And this is very good that they are Supreme Court and judiciary in general is slowly but steadily eroding itself, losing all kind of esteem left. You are there to interpret a law. You are there to find if there is a loophole, point out. But look at what you are doing. You are not able to find any violation of basic structure of law as enunciated in Keshavanand Bharati's case long ago. But still, you are ready to strike down the law made by the Parliament. Who are you? You are nobody except Supreme Court. You are judiciary. Your role is only to interpret the law and find the loopholes in the process or principles of the lawmaking. You are nobody to strike down the law duly made by the parliament unless you find the loopholes. You are nobody. You are not finding any loophole. And if you find a loophole, a law. There have been lot of precedents before when a law went for scrutiny before the parliament, before the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has returned it with some suggestions, with some loopholes, with some advices, for some corrections, and the parliament has always respected it. But far from doing this, you are simply overriding everything and just bulldozing. On one hand, you say that the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya needs some evidence. You are asking Ram Mandir Ayodhya agitations for proof. That please show me a proof that there was a Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. But when it comes to Waqf Board, you are saying that, no. How can he produce? तो तेरी माँ की चूत, who will issue a bench चूत, तेरी माँ की चूत साला माधर चूत. There is a work property and you are saying, he doesn't have any proof, so you cannot show. तेरी माँ की बहन चोद राम में तेरे गाँव में था माधर चोद. What kind of persons, what kind of justices are you? You are judge, you are Gandu. Simple. When it is a Hindu thing, you are asking absolute nonsense questions. And just the moment a property comes about, a question about मुझे तेरी गाँव में लंड घुस जाता है बेंचों. Vishnu Shankar Jain told yesterday that he went to Supreme Court and just raised a simple query कि भाई Muslims raising a slogan सर तन से जुदा सुदे नहीं रसूल की एक ही सजा सर तन से जुदा. And he said that Milord, is this hate speech or not? गाना फट गई. नहीं यार प्लीज ये इसको बाद में ले. तेरी माँ की चुत क्यों बाद में ले रहे माधव चौथ क्यों लेंगे? तेरी माँ की बहन चो तेरा बाप का है माधव चोर. I think instead of saying this, somebody should have shot the Supreme Court judges. बहन चो, if some sadhu is asking something that Hindu Rashtra, you say that is hate speech. Did he kill anyone? But Muslims, hundreds, thousands, millions of Muslims protesting, raising a slogan, Sahaya Rasul ki ek hi sajat sartan. You बहन चो, you said it is not hate speech. He said, Vishnu Shankar Jain openly said that Supreme Court judges were Gandu, were गांड में फट गई. आग थू